My entire life, strangely, I've been struggling with an identity of who I am and who I belong to, and finally, I've realized who I am. And then I debuted with Prateik Babbar, and then I realized that I don't want to be associated with either of my parents. I owe it to her. I owe it to her. She gave her life for me. She lost her life for me. There was nothing in this world that woman wanted more than to be a mother and to be my mother. There's nothing more she wanted than to live a life with me. And she couldn't. And that's the least I could do. And लोग बोलते आपने बब्बर सरनेम drop कर दिया. I haven't dropped anything.
Yeah.
I've just embraced my mother's name.
And you go through another difficult phase where one relationship Well, my guest today is somebody who's extremely honest, extremely candid, and does all his work with pure honesty and hard work. And that is what we all love about him. Welcoming Prateik Smita Patil only on the Free Press Journal as he joins me for another candid conversation. Hi, Prateik, how have you been?
Hi, good. Thanks for having me.
You're most welcome. I'll just jump off right to it that it is very difficult
Yes.
to be honest,
Sure.
extremely honest in the kind of industry we're in.
Sure.
We're often judged. I'm similar, so I'm called mean sometimes rude,
Sure.
just because I say what is in my heart. How did you maintain yourself so gracefully despite being so honest? Were there days where people put you down for that?
I'm sure there are days people put me down, but I don't really pay too much heed to it because this is who I love being.
Yeah.
This is what gives me this is who I am. This is what makes me who I am. I also feel like being honest really sets you apart from everybody else, and that's not what I'm trying. Not like that is what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to set myself apart from everybody else. This is just who I am. I don't वो होता है ना वो अंदर से it doesn't happen from within. अंदर से होता नहीं. I can't be somebody else. I can't be someone I'm not. Like you said, it has its advantages and has its disadvantages, but I don't really pay too much heed to the negative stuff. I think I just want to continue being myself, being honest to who I am, to my work, to my the people that love me, the fans that appreciate my work and have followed my journey. I owe it to them.
Yeah.
I owe it to them for being honest, for being for putting myself out there. It gives me happiness. मुझे बहुत अच्छा महसूस होता है जब लोग मेरे बारे में सच्चाई जानते हैं.
Yeah.
I feel like I owe it to them. You know what I mean? And somewhere maybe it's not me. Maybe it's the people that love me that are making me just be candid and honest about things. I think it's them. It's all for them. And for me, of course, for me.
Yeah.
But I think for them, it's itne sare, just fans are a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Fans
that's true.
are just such a beautiful phenomena that they don't know atoms of you. They don't know who. अभी थोड़ा बहुत अभी तो जान सकते हैं लोग social media के साथ and all that, but I think it's still very surface level. I think. It's so fascinating that people can love you to that extent and really genuinely love you by only seeing you on screen
Yeah.
and by only watching the characters you portray, and it's so amazing. I feel like it's my duty to let them know who I am.
Yeah. Do you also feel that their love, because it's very difficult to have such loyal fans who've been with you since day one. I'm sure that bunch is still there today.
Yes.
When you put up something related to work, something that's happened good, that's happened in your personal life.
Sure.
There's such lovely comments that these people drop,
Sure.
Do you think that is also that one bond that has kept you going professionally no matter what?
I haven't really, I don't pay much attention to it. But whenever I do, it reassures me that I'm doing the right thing and I'm doing it for the right people. I want to work for the people I love. I want to entertain the people I love as an actor, as a professional actor. It's quite amazing. It's really quite amazing, and yeah, I belong to them.
Yeah.
We all belong to our fans. We are nothing without our fans. Nothing without the people who appreciate and admire our work. I think aap ho to hum hai.
That is true. This year has literally started with a bang for you, both personally, professionally.
Yes.
There's Sikandar, there's Hit 3. When you and in the first 5 months, not even 6, like we've just entered the 6th one, the 5th one, honestly.
Yes.
When so many things happen at one time, does it ever become like overwhelming that touch wood, now everything's going right?
इतना सब जल्दी हुआ है ना
हाँ.
इन 5 महीनों में कि कुछ थोड़ा वक्त नहीं मिला है सोचने के बारे में सिवा. But strangely, I haven't felt overwhelmed at all.
Oh.
Not about my marriage, not
Yeah.
about venturing into Telugu cinema, working with Salman Khan, having 2 releases, all of it, just everything happening together. Some other complicated stuff that happened. It was all at once, but somehow it didn't overwhelm me. It felt like this is where I was supposed to be. This is यही होना था मेरे साथ. यही इसी के लिए तो तैयारी कर रहे थे पूरी जिंदगी. यही सब moments के लिए.
Yeah.
So I felt like I think maybe I was, I was already prepared for it. So maybe I didn't feel that overwhelming, but I'm grateful for everything that has happened this year. Really, it's really been a good year for me. So far, so good, and I have nothing but gratitude.
Yeah.
I have nothing but gratitude. I have even for the few negative things that happened in these few 5 months, I'm even grateful for that, and I want to embrace that with a lot of grace and humility. Because that's what makes me. That's what defines me, and I'm proud of it. I'm extremely proud of everything that I've done in the past 9 years. If I may, 9 years sober. 9 years sober. And extremely proud of everything that I've done for myself. I've done it on my own. I've done it by myself, for myself, and for the people that love me. my friends and family, for my mom, my grandparents.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm extremely proud of the things I've overcome. I'm extremely proud of this moment here sitting across you. I'm proud and grateful that I can have this conversation with you
Yeah.
about life. And
That is that.
yes,
I just want to add that we're all so proud of you, not only because you overcame a certain part in your life, but to talk about it right now with all honesty,
Ji,
without any hesitation.
yes,
I don't know if it comes easy to you, but it wouldn't to a lot many.
yeah, 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 yeah. Wow, if I haven't really thought of how easy or difficult. It's just something I feel very strongly about.
Yeah.
Is uh, is just letting people know who I am and what I'm all about, and not to misunderstand me and misinterpret anything that I'm saying. That's why I'm so. That's why I want to be extremely honest about
Yeah.
everything that I'm saying. I don't want anything to be misinterpreted. I don't want anything to be misunderstood.
Yeah.
I'm being very clear about everything that I'm speaking about. I want to treat every aspect of my life, positive or negative, with absolute grace
Yeah.
and humility and honesty. And it really, really makes me happy being this way. It really does.
You know, when your wedding pictures came out and the video, the paparazzi video, when it came out, it truly felt like you guys are genuinely so happy. So,
Thank
like,
you.
this is
Thank
all
you.
that you have ever wanted. It
Thank
felt
you.
like that, and
Thank
it
you.
translated through those pictures and videos.
Thank
You know,
you.
what did that moment truly feel like? Because the last time we spoke in November,
Ji.
you, of course, you did not reveal you're gonna get married, but you
Yes.
said that, you know, I found.
We
the
hadn't
one.
even decided.
Acha, it happened ekdam suddenly.
We decided 2 months before the wedding.
Oh wow.
14th Feb को हम लोग ने शादी की.
हाँ.
दिसंबर में सब डिसाइड किया था कि अच्छा करो करो जल्दी करते. हम लाइक 1 मिनट 2 महीने कैसे. एंड प्रिया वाज सो कॉन्फिडेंट लाइक मैं हूं ना, मैं कर, तुम जाओ शूटिंग करो. Like you go shoot,
Yeah.
I'll take care. So I was literally a guest at my own wedding.
Wow.
I showed up the day of Mehendi.
Oh
Before
my
that, I
God.
was shooting nights for a month in Hyderabad for Hit.
Yeah.
And I showed up dressed up on the day of Mehendi, sleepless. क्योंकि night shoot, पूरा night shoot करके फिर सुबह मेहंदी थी.
Yeah.
तो my wife was like, I got you.
Yeah.
You go work. And literally, there was 2 months and we planned everything, and it just all went. It was just perfect. It was just meant to be. Everything just fell into place perfectly. It was meant to be. It's a beautiful, private, intimate wedding we had. We got married at my mother's house. Yeah, it was everything I could have ever dreamed of. Everything I could have ever dreamed of. It was just right with. It was just perfect, and I'm so blessed, and I'm so grateful that the goddesses and gods gave me Priya. I must have done something right.
You know, when you come from a difficult childhood or a difficult phase when you're growing up as a kid, and all you want is love around you, and you finally grow up and you go through another difficult phase where one relationship doesn't work, and then this happens. Do you hold it even closer, and do you feel complete now?
1000%. 1000%. And I feel like everybody has to go through this journey, you know. As the saying goes, you have to kiss many frogs before you meet your prince.
Yeah.
I had, the same goes for all of us, I think.
Yeah.
And yes, knowingly, not knowingly, you know, it was, maybe this was, I was finding the right woman, and I was finding true love, and I finally found it.
You know, when such happy moments are happening, and I do have to blame a certain part of the media where certain articles are written and negativity is spread.
Sure.
I just genuinely feel we must all be very ethical when we report something. Now, I
Sure.
know this is not something that everyone follows, but I personally feel we are a big fraternity and we should follow
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
I think when public figures, actors, celebrities are targeted in these articles, especially when we have direct access to either you or your team so easily today, we can
Sure.
just get a clarification.
Sure.
Nobody really runs that. Does
Sure.
that ever bother you?
100% it does bother me. I think it will bother anybody. Like I said, I go out of my way to be as honest as possible, and when you're putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, and you're being candid and vulnerable, and you hope people will accept you,
Yeah.
for who you are. It's tough when people misinterpret that and misunderstand that, and call you all kinds of names. And absolutely, it's very disheartening. And it's a very fine line, though. There's certain things that you can let go of that are very kind of generic. Arey, aisa hai, ye aisa hai, ye to, which is fine. It's the name of the game, and sometimes you can brush things under the carpet. But some things that can really, things that will, you have to stand your ground with things that are important to you. I think if there's a perception about you that is absolutely false and negative, and it is bothering you, and you have to stand your ground and come clear and let people know, hey, this is not who I am. This is ye aapko galat fehmi hui hai. Whatever you're thinking is wrong. It's just a figment of your imagination, or it's just something that you're cooking up stories in your own head. You're making up things in your own head. That is when some people need to, make a clarification, or kind of stand your ground and put out a statement, or which has been my life, unfortunately, which is fine. But I think some things generic, यहाँ वहाँ चीजें, फालतू चीजें यहाँ वहाँ बोलते रहते हैं. I think you can't address everything.
That is
you can't really address everything, but the things that really bother you, that आपके अंदर की इंसान, आपके सोल, आपका soul, if someone perceives you in a way that is harming you, and harming the people you love, harming your professional and personal space, you have to stand your ground. And I have done that in the past. I have stood my ground and said, listen, ये गलत कहानियों में आप don't get lost in some lies that have been spread on the internet.
That's true.
Yeah. But again, it's very important standing ground. It's extremely important standing ground, especially when अभी अगर perception ही completely बदल रहा है कि भाई ये बहुत ही अच्छा आदमी था, लेकिन अब ये सब ड्रामे की वजह से ये हमें लग रहा है ये बहुत बुरा आदमी है, और ये पूरी जिंदगी उसकी ये झूठ है. Is then we have to take a stand, which I do.
Yeah. You can choose not to answer this, but I have just this curiosity. Recently, it's been some time that you changed your name,
Yes.
last name, and you paid respect to your mom and
Yes.
added hers.
Yes.
It's a very sweet thing. I'm sure it's a very deep thing for you.
Yes.
So if you could talk a little about
Yes,
that.
yes. Yes. You know, my entire life, strangely, I've been struggling with an identity of who I am and who I belong to, and finally, I've realized who I am. And I belong to my mother, and I feel complete.
Yeah.
Now I'm complete. I'm Prateik Smita Patil. I'm complete. I am content, and I'm proud to have her name, her entire name with me. Also, I owe it to her. I owe it to her. She gave her life for me. She lost her life for me. There was nothing in this world that woman wanted more than to be a mother and to be my mother. There was nothing more she wanted than to live a life with me. And she couldn't. And that's the least I could do. I owe it to her. And this is a lot of struggling with my own identity for many, many years. Since I've been a child, actually,
Yeah.
since I've been a child, I was in school, I was Prateik Smita Patil.
Yeah.
And Prateek, people started calling me Smith. And the Smith came from Smita.
Yeah.
So it wasn't SMITH, it was SMIT. I'm like, yaar, A add hi kar dete aap.
हाँ.
Kyun nahi kiya? But because then it was quite confusing. So my entire school life, I was Smith. So everyone thought I was a Catholic. And then suddenly, Prateik Smita Patil stuck.
Yeah.
And then I think when my teenage years, when I started realizing my situation, and kind of, you become a teenager and you start rebelling and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And unfortunately, I had all the recipes for disaster, literally. So yeah, and then I struggled with that name, and then I debuted with Prateik Babbar,
Yeah.
and then I realized that I don't want to be associated with either of my parents. And then I was Prateek for a little while. Then I was just Prateek, and then my grandparents passed away, and then I kind of rekindled with my father, because I think I felt like I had nobody and I had no family, and just felt like he's my only parent, and so I kind of reached out, and then I was Prateik Babbar again, and then I was struggling with my mother is such a huge part of my life and my identity, and why is she not? So then Prateik Babbar changed Prateik Patil Babbar, that played along, and then again it just isn't feeling right for me, it's just. I did mention that I remember I mentioned when I changed my name to Prateik Patil Babbar, I mentioned that I feel incomplete without her name. I felt like I feel like I need to honor her with my name, and especially on screen, because on screen Patil is, when you see that name, it's just kind of, I want people to remember her, I really want people to remember her. She was a magical woman. And then, just a few months before the wedding, I think it was, Priya and I were talking, and I think we got a little emotional, and I think I started missing my mother, and I think she started getting emotional. I'm like, what can I do for her? It just came very organically, and she was like, why don't you just embrace her entire name? And I said, I'm like, you know what? That just sounds like the right thing to do. I owe it to her. I owe it to that woman who lost her life for me. I owe it to her. I am Prateik Smita Patil, and I am so content, and I feel so complete when I hear that name. And लोग बोलते आपने बब्बर surname आपने drop कर दिया. I haven't dropped anything.
Yeah.
I've just embraced my mother's name. Doesn't change who I am, doesn't change who my parents are, doesn't change anything. I've just embraced my mother's name, and I feel extremely, extremely happy about it. And I feel complete and content.
Yeah. I think what more do we need?
Absolutely.
That is all you need.
Absolutely.
Fame, success, money these are all just byproducts.
It's all byproducts.
Feeling complete as a
Absolutely.
person
Absolutely.
is all you need.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I'm sure wherever she is today, she must be so happy and proud of
I
you.
really hope she
And
is. I really hope
she is. I am
I
so
hope she
sure. And I haven't ever met Priya, but the way you talk about her, she seems like such a sweet person.
She really is. And
Yeah.
she is a riot. She is an absolute riot. It's hard not to laugh when
Yeah.
Priya is. It's hard not to have fun. She's just,
Yeah, touch wood.
that's what.
But on that note, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
having such a heart-to-heart
Of course,
conversation.
always pleasure's mine.
And
Thank you for making me feel comfortable to
you're
be.
most welcome. I started my interview with this, and I'll just end it with that it's very rare to find true honesty, because
Sure.
sometimes I feel we're just filled in a room where everybody is just being nice to each other on their
Sure,
face.
sure.
But you are that somebody who's actually a nice person, and
Thank
we
you.
have had so many
Thank you.
conversations before. So thank you for doing
Thank
this,
you.
and
Thank
I
you.
hope
Pleasure's mine.
this positive streak just continues in your
Absolutely.
life.
Fingers
And
crossed. I look
yeah,
forward to our next interview.
Same
Our
here.
next
I hope
session.
we get to interview you and Priya together. That
Yes.
would be like maddening.
It's going to happen.
Oh, lovely.
It's going to happen and you all have a reason. वो अब reason हम लोग बता नहीं सकते.
Okay,
वो
okay. I
reason
got a
बताएं-
hint.
नहीं वैसा वाला hint नहीं
अच्छा
है.
नहीं है?
नहीं भाई टाइम है यार बच्चे टाइम.
नहीं, not
अच्छा,
बच्चे
हाँ,
बच्चे.
thank you.
Professionally, of
Thank
course.
you जी प्रोफेशनली. मुझे लगा यार बच्चे.
नहीं. उसके लिए आप लोग इंटरव्यूज थोड़ी करोगे, वो तो will be just an announcement. But thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much.
you.
Lovely
Such a
chatting
pleasure.
with you.
Such a
Same,
pleasure.
same.